We're not Kevin Smith and we're not Tenacious D.
Ooh, I have a
UFO. These guys are bigger luminaries than I am. So, you really see any faces?
I can see no.
I can see nobody. So
I feel like Charles Foster Kane. I can't see.
I can see people now.
oh, there we go. There we go. Well, welcome to UFOs in comic books and popular media, etc. I'm Walter Bosley. I've been on Ancient Aliens. I'm author, publisher, made the rounds out there in UFO land, and I will let these guys introduce themselves. Right?
My name is Greg Bishop. I am author. I don't even know if I'd say I'm a researcher. I'm more like a reporter and philosopher, I guess, about the UFO subject. And I haven't been on Ancient Aliens. I think I've been asked like 4 times, but I don't play ball. So
You didn't do that?
or if you know anything about TV shows, these documentaries, they ask you to say something because they have slotted you in a certain, as a character, because that's how TV works. But I won't say things that I don't believe, so that gets in the way sometimes. But I have been in a bunch of TV shows. And I have a podcast called Radio Mysterio. So like, Walter was actually a co-host that for a couple of years. And I've got 4 or 5 books out for when everybody knows me for. I think it's Project Beta, which is about a man who was a UFO researcher, but he stumbled on some secret projects in New Mexico near an Air Force base and was put under surveillance and also subjected to disinformation to keep national secrets secret. And Walter actually helped me with that because he's former FBI and Air Force.
Air Force OSI.
Yeah. And the newest thing I'm doing, which I actually brought some examples of, is a tarot deck featuring people that historical figures from UFO study, which we and my friends thought would be a nice idea. And it turned out pretty well. So you'll see those graphics later. And this is my friend Earl.
Hi, I'm Earl Gray Anderson. I'm a state director for MUFON in Southern California. I've personally investigated over 900 UFO cases. I kind of specialize in high strangeness cases, which is kind of, to me, the gist of ufology. I mean, if it isn't strange, it probably isn't real. Yeah. Greg and I kind of agree on something that the best UFO reports seem to have an intentional amount of absurdity added to them. It's almost like a signature line. And it's sort of what lets you know that it's from out there, not from here. This phenomena seems to think differently than most humans do. And anyway, that's takes up most of my time. I do speak a lot at various conferences, the MUFON Symposium. I run the Experiencer workshops. And I've been on Ancient Aliens about a month ago. MUFON, they had an episode called "It's All About MUFON," and they interviewed me for about 2 hours, and I got about 2 minutes on the show, but it was a good 2 minutes.
That's what happens.
Yeah.
Yep.
Experiencer means abduction.
Yes.
They asked me to speak about something I'm knowledgeable of, but it's not my thing. I'm not an expert in it, but you know, they ask, "You want to be on?" Sure. So, and then sometimes they give you the questions, but
We'll have questions at the end, I think.
yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, we're here at WonderCon because UFOs do have a bit of history in comic books, and I'm going to run through some of that with you now. see. So there we go. Gold Key, which, if I'm not mistaken, is Gold Key coming back? I think I've been seeing something about that Gold Key is coming back, so to speak. But they ran in the late 50s, into the 60s, and early 70s. This various UFO comic books, this UFO flying saucers. Oh, yeah, people remember this. Let me see there, figure this out. And as you can see,
That's great.
yeah,
That's an exact for you.
right there you go. And what's interesting is, you see that these reflect like actual reports, because I think this comic book based its stories, so to speak, on actual reports. And there's a lot of themes that, will
Something got sent to the cornfield in that one storm.
What's that?
Something, what is this thing with the corn? Remember that's the Twilight Zone? The Twilight Zone, that cornfield thing will, I can't.
Sorry, internet went down.
And the unknown.
But we're back.
By this time, it's a metaphor for the Cold War, right? And this is the kind of thing we had in the 50s, the scary monster. It's all a threat from space. The idea is you're supposed to be afraid of the other, the strange other, right? From another world.
It's a kind of classic Saturday matinee.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 20 million miles to Earth. It's all about the creatures. Then, of course, here's
Oh,
I can see pictures for you.
yeah.
I'm not joking.
Yeah, I've been known in my obscure films nobody ever sees to have been kind of inspired a little bit by Ed Woodian kind of things. And now this one, though, Plan 9 from Outer Space, it has the monster, supernatural, right? You could almost argue kind of the occult touch themes. And I see it, all of that is a reflection of a little bit of the contactee era, which you guys know a lot more about the details of than I do. When you're getting into the beings from other worlds and, the texture, context of their interaction. I'm stumbling.
Yeah, well, the metaphors mix quite well, because there are all these unknown things, and so people's minds and the minds of creative people can mix them together. And the funny thing is, and I think we're going to talk about this, that started coming up in people's actual reports of things, whereas they didn't used to. And I think a straight skeptical mind would argue that that's because it came from popular culture. And for me, and probably for Earl and for Walter, I think it's because whatever was happening to these people, whatever they saw, they had no context for it. So it was provided by popular culture and comics and media and all that. And that continues to this day.
And that there is my favorite film on the subject.
Isn't that great?
It's an amazing, I mean, The Day That Earth Stood Still, to me, is the pinnacle of UFO related film. More so even than the Close Encounters of the Third Kind, although that would come in close second for me.